You are scrolling real estate listings past midnight, tired, stressed. And every house that is not falling apart costs $500,000 like it is normal now everywhere today. The kitchens look dated, carpets feel sad, basements feel creepy. Yet the listing still says starter home, making you wonder who exactly they think is starting this whole process for. You start running salary math in your head, asking if you missed a promotion, or if the housing market collectively lost its mind completely sometime recently, somehow nationwide right now. Quick truth, it is not you being bad with money, the math itself is brutal, and nobody selling houses wants to admit that out loud, publicly, today, at all anymore. My name is Diana, and today we're doing something real estate agents hate. Figuring out who can actually afford a $500,000 home in America right now. Not who the bank approves on paper, not who barely qualifies, but who can buy one and still live without constant money stress every single month, long-term, safely, sane. Because qualifying for a mortgage and affording a home are totally different things, and confusing them is how people ruin their finances slowly, quietly, painfully, over many stressful years straight. Here is the uncomfortable reality. In many American cities, $500,000 is now the entry price. Not luxury anymore, just basic, average housing for normal working families today. That price buys a small box, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a yard so tiny you barely notice it exists when you step outside after work daily. Anymore, honestly now. Places near big cities expect regular people to pay this, as if everyone magically doubled their income overnight, somehow without raises, promotions, bonuses, or warning signs ever appearing suddenly anywhere. Meanwhile, the median household income sits around $84,000, which makes this math feel insane instantly to anyone actually paying attention, thinking realistically. Today, right now, clearly, logically. We're asking people earning $84,000 to buy homes costing 6 times their annual income, which should raise alarms everywhere. Loudly, immediately for every adult watching closely today. But everyone says it is fine. Brokers approve you, parents compare decades ago, influencers brag online, and doubt gets buried under hype. Pressure, optimism, fear, culture, noise, constantly, everywhere, daily. The real problem is the word affordable got twisted, stretched, and abused until it lost all meaning for normal people. Families, workers, renters, buyers, everywhere today, nationwide, completely, honestly, entirely. Let us talk down payments because this is where most home buying dreams quietly collapse for young adults. Families, couples, workers, renters, everywhere today, suddenly painfully fast financially, speaking overall. The old rule was 20% down, meaning $100,000 cash on a $500,000 house before keys, paperwork, signatures, moving, stress, fees, repairs, taxes, anything. The median American savings account holds about $8,000, so most people are not even close to starting, qualifying, competing, bidding, winning, buying, anything meaningful today, realistically, at all. Even saving 10% of income takes over a decade, assuming prices freeze, which they never actually do in real markets, with demand, pressure, inflation, speculation, growth, trends continuing upward. So buyers put down less 5 or 10% and trigger PMI, an extra monthly punishment for not being wealthy enough, early, privileged, connected, inherited, lucky, funded, supported, financially beforehand. PMI costs hundreds monthly, protects the bank only, and drains your budget before you even buy groceries, gas, utilities, insurance, childcare, repairs, savings, emergencies, life, needs, monthly, bills, consistently, forever. Then comes the mortgage itself. Borrowing $450,000 at today's rates feels like a trap for many buyers. Families, couples, earners, workers, nationwide, right now, honestly, financially. Your payment lands near $2,800 monthly, and that is just the beginning before taxes, insurance, maintenance, fees, stress, surprises. repairs, anxiety, pressure, obligations, stacking, endlessly. Afterward, monthly. Property taxes at hundreds, insurance as hundreds, and maintenance quietly eats another 400 every single month without warning, mercy, delay, discounts, sympathy, forgiveness, budgeting, flexibility, relief, options, available, anywhere. Add everything together and housing alone costs over $4,000 monthly, assuming nothing breaks ever, unexpectedly, suddenly, seasonally, structurally, mechanically, electrically, financially, naturally, realistically, long-term ownership, wise speaking. To keep housing under safe limits, you need well over $150,000 yearly income before taxes, stability, deductions, benefits, volatility, risk, uncertainty, layoffs, changes, shocks, events occur. Only a small slice of households earn that, meaning most Americans are priced out by simple math, not laziness, failure, effort, ambition, intelligence, discipline, budgeting, mindset, planning, mistakes, choices, alone. People still buy though, using dual incomes, family help, or stretching so thin one emergency breaks everything financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, long-term, stability, safety, security, comfort, freedom, peace, completely. This is how house poor living starts, high income on paper, low peace in real life daily, monthly, yearly, constantly, quietly, stressfully, painfully, relentlessly, without relief, breaks, rest, balance, joy. After taxes, even strong earners see take-home shrink fast, leaving less than expected every month for living, saving, investing, emergencies, fun, growth, freedom, flexibility, choices, options, security, comfort, life. Once housing is paid, everything else fights for scraps, cars, food, insurance, loans, utilities, and sanity compete daily, monthly, relentlessly, endlessly, constantly, without pause, mercy, balance, margin, cushion, room, breathing. Savings disappear, emergencies hit credit cards, and every unexpected cost feels like a personal crisis financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, repeatedly. Over time, years, decades, ownership, cycles, continuously, quietly, damaging, stability. This stress is normalized, called adulting, while people quietly drown behind freshly painted front doors, smiling, pretending, coping, managing, surviving, adapting, rationalizing, explaining, justifying, sacrifices, daily, everywhere, socially accepted, norms. Culture says rent is wasting money, ignoring that unaffordable ownership wastes health, time, and freedom slowly, quietly, invisibly, emotionally, mentally, financially, relationally, professionally, socially, over long periods, years, decades, straight. So here is permission to pause, run real numbers, and refuse a deal that hurts you financially, emotionally, mentally, long-term, personally, professionally, relationally, sustainably, realistically, responsibly, intentionally, calmly, confidently. There is no trophy for being house poor, only stress, anxiety, and delayed life progress goals, dreams, plans, growth, wealth, health, relationships, happiness, freedom, peace, balance, stability, joy, fulfillment, satisfaction. Owning a home should improve your life, not trap you inside a 30-year financial cage built, marketed, normalized, sold, justified, defended, encouraged, promoted, pressured, praised, rewarded, culturally, historically, repeatedly. Real wealth is margin, flexibility, savings, and sleep, not equity you cannot access easily, safely, freely, quickly, without selling, borrowing, refinancing, stress, penalties, fees, risk, exposure, fear, anxiety, consequences attached. Banks profit when you sign, agents profit when you buy, but nobody profits from your peace, stability, happiness, health, security, safety, freedom, comfort, resilience, sustainability, long-term well-being, balance, prosperity. If the math does not work, walking away is not failure. It is intelligence, discipline, maturity, wisdom, clarity, courage, restraint, foresight, responsibility, ownership, self-respect, confidence, realism, patience, strategy, strength. You are not behind because prices exploded faster than wages across generations nationally, globally, structurally, systematically, historically, predictably, mathematically, undeniably, clearly, objectively, demonstrably, verifiably, consistently, relentlessly, upward trends continue today. $500,000 is not a starter home. It is a luxury in disguise, marketed, normalized, reframed, justified, explained, excused, defended, promoted, pressured, culturally, socially, financially, publicly, repeatedly, aggressively. Run honest numbers, include all costs, and stop listening to approval letters, marketing, hype, pressure, fear, comparison, culture, noise, influence, expectations, opinions, trends, narratives, myths, promises, fantasies, assumptions, projections, dreams. A bank approving you does not mean the house fits your life goals, health, stress, capacity, income, stability, plans, future, growth, dreams, responsibilities, priorities, relationships, freedom, margin, sanity, balance, reality. Sometimes, the smartest move is stepping back while the market pretends everything makes sense logically, mathematically, financially, culturally, socially, emotionally, economically, structurally, sustainably, realistically, honestly, objectively, long term, today, still. You do not have to play a rigged game just because everyone else is playing, participating, stretching, risking, suffering, coping, normalizing, accepting, rationalizing, defending, justifying, stress, pressure, anxiety, debt, misery. Financial peace beats granite countertops, big yards, and Instagram bragging rights every time without question, debate, doubt, hesitation, exception, comparison, trade-off, regret, apology, explanation, justification, embarrassment, pressure, guilt, fear, compromise. Doing the math is not pessimism, it is self-respect in a broken housing system, distorted, inflated, misaligned, manipulated, overheated, speculative, imbalanced, unsustainable, disconnected, unrealistic, inequitable, fragile, unstable, pressured, strained. You deserve a life with margin, not constant fear tied to a mortgage payment, obligation, debt, pressure, stress, anxiety, uncertainty, risk, exposure, vulnerability, instability, insecurity, overwhelm, exhaustion, burnout, dread, tension. That clarity alone already puts you ahead of most people pretending this math works fine. Normally, sustainably, comfortably, easily, safely, long term, without consequences, trade-offs, sacrifices, suffering, stress, pressure, collapse. People ask who is buying these homes anyway, and the answer is not magical budgeting skills. It is usually too high incomes, family help, or risky stretching disguised as confidence. Some households earn a lot on paper but live paycheck to paycheck because housing eats everything first before life even gets a chance to happen comfortably, calmly, freely, safely, sustainably, long term. Let me show you how this plays out in real life using a normal-looking household that seems successful from the outside, stable, educated, hardworking, responsible, disciplined, ambitious, and supposedly financially secure today. Meet a couple earning $160,000 combined, solid jobs, degrees, careers, benefits, doing everything society told them to do correctly, responsibly, patiently, strategically, traditionally, predictably, safely, carefully, step by step. After taxes, deductions, and retirement basics, they bring home around $9,500 monthly, which sounds great until reality starts subtracting everything quickly, aggressively, consistently, relentlessly, automatically, without negotiation, mercy, or pause. First subtraction is housing, over $4,300 gone immediately. before groceries, cars, insurance, utilities, kids, fun, savings, emergencies, or breathing room even enter the conversation, picture, budget, spreadsheet, or reality. Now they have about 5,000 left for literally everything else life requires in modern America just to function normally, comfortably, responsibly, safely, and without panic or constant stress, fear, anxiety, worry, pressure, or dread. 2 car payments disappear fast because commuting is unavoidable. That is $800 gone without discussion, negotiation, flexibility, or alternative options realistically available in most suburban job markets today. Car insurance adds $250 more, gas adds $300, and suddenly transportation alone eats over $1,300 monthly, quietly, consistently, and without asking permission or caring about your other priorities. Student loans show up next, because those degrees were required for those jobs. $600 gone. No applause, no reward, no forgiveness, just obligation, responsibility, pressure, and long-term financial drag. Health insurance premiums follow $400 monthly because employers rarely cover everything, and healthcare is not optional when you want to survive, function, work, think, move, and live safely. Groceries for a household trying to eat decently cost around $800 if they are careful, disciplined, strategic, planned, intentional, realistic, and not splurging or wasting food constantly. Utilities for a larger home add another $450, electricity, water, internet, phones, trash, gas, basic services you cannot cancel without destroying modern life functionality. After all that, they have roughly $1,500 left for everything else. Clothing, kids, emergencies, savings, repairs, fun, travel, gifts, repairs, maintenance surprises, medical copays, and actual joy. That $1,500 disappears fast when life happens, because life always happens eventually, repeatedly, unexpectedly, inconveniently, expensively, and without caring about your carefully planned spreadsheet or intentions. This household spends nearly half their take-home pay on housing alone, not luxury spending, not stupidity, just math colliding with reality hard, loud, consistently, painfully, month after month. They are not irresponsible, they are not lazy, they are not dumb. They are trapped by prices, pretending to be normal while incomes lag far behind reality. This stress shows up daily, checking accounts before grocery trips, delaying repairs, skipping fun, saying no often, worrying constantly, sleeping poorly, snapping easier, feeling pressure nonstop, carrying anxiety everywhere. One broken appliance becomes a crisis, one medical bill hits credit cards, one job disruption threatens everything, and the emergency fund never grows because there is nothing left. This is what house poor actually means, owning walls while losing freedom, flexibility, peace, joy, and control over your own time, money, energy, choices, future, and mental health. Now imagine doing this on $120,000 income, or $100,000, or the median $84,000. It is not tight. It is impossible without outside help or extreme risk. At median income, buying a $500,000 home is a fantasy unless someone else contributes money, absorbs risk, or rescues you when things go wrong. Yet, the system keeps pushing people into this trap because sellers want high prices, banks want loans, agents want commissions, and nobody gets paid to protect your long-term well-being. Once you sign, you are locked in. Selling later costs money, moving costs money, refinancing costs money, and walking away destroys credit and wipes savings instantly. So people stay stuck, working jobs they hate, afraid to take risks, terrified of layoffs, chained to payments, watching savings shrink while stress quietly becomes their normal. This is why so many people feel exhausted, anxious, and burned out while technically doing everything right according to society's outdated rules and expectations. Housing prices exploded roughly 400% since 1990, while incomes barely doubled, and no amount of budgeting fixes a gap that large mathematically. You cannot side hustle your way out of a broken ratio, you cannot manifest lower prices, and you cannot discipline your way through structural affordability collapse. Skipping coffee does not save $100,000, and eating ramen does not fix a system that detached housing from income reality completely. Understanding this is not negativity, it is clarity, and clarity gives you power to make decisions that protect your future instead of impressing strangers. Maybe that decision is renting longer and investing the difference. Maybe it is downsizing expectations. Maybe it is changing markets, or simply waiting without shame. There is no medal for buying a house early, and no punishment for waiting until the math actually works without destroying your peace and stability. The goal is not ownership at any cost. The goal is a life with margin, savings, growth, health, flexibility, and options when life throws punches. A house should support your life, not dominate it, control it, drain it, and turn every financial decision into a stress-filled negotiation with fear. Real wealth is sleeping at night, handling emergencies calmly, investing consistently, and choosing opportunities freely without being trapped by payments. Banks approve loans based on default risk, not happiness, not stress, not quality of life, and definitely not your mental health. Just because you qualify does not mean you should buy. And confusing those ideas ruins decades for millions of people quietly. So, if you are staring at listings feeling behind, frustrated, or defeated, understand this clearly. You are not failing, the system is failing you. $500,000 is not affordable for most households today, and pretending otherwise only creates future pain, regret, anxiety, and financial instability. Walking away from bad math is strength, not weakness, and saying not now is smarter than saying yes and drowning slowly. You deserve a future with choices, not one dictated by a mortgage payment that eats your freedom and peace every single month. Run honest numbers, protect your sanity, and remember, doing math that others avoid already puts you ahead of the crowd. Sometimes the smartest move is refusing to play a game designed to make you lose quietly while smiling for photos. That is how you avoid becoming another cautionary story about the true cost of a $500,000 house. Like, subscribe, and share.